So fine. Good morning. In the last class, we were discussing about the concept of lakes, and we covered also the different type of boundaries in plate tectonics. What are the boundaries we have covered? Convergent boundary, divergent boundary, and conservative boundaries. Yes, convergent, divergent, and conservative. Conservative boundaries. Fine. So convergent boundary we discussed can be oceanic, continent, continent, divergent. Yes, and conservative boundaries. Fine. So which of the boundaries where you see eruption of volcanic eruption? Which of the boundaries where you see volcanic eruption? Except for conservative, you can see volcanic eruption at convergent and divergent, but not which type of convergent? Continent convergent. So you'll not see a volcanic eruption at where? Continent convergence. Fine. Then we also discussed divergent boundary. What you're going to see at divergent boundary? What you're going to see divergent boundary? Ridges are going to be there. Volcanic eruptions, then earthquake, then you'll also see what? You'll also see what? What else you see on divergent boundary? We discussed formation of what? Formation of rift valleys. You can also see formation of rift valleys. You can also see formation of linear sea. What are the examples of linear sea? What are the examples of linear sea? Red Sea. We discussed currently Red Sea is in which stage? It is in linear sea stage. What was the Rift Valley stage? We discussed African Rift Valleys are in Rift Valley stage. That is okay there. Clear? So those things we have discussed regarding convergent, divergent, and conservative boundary. What you are going to see? What you are going to see generally? No construction and no destruction. Rather, plates will slide past each other. So that type of boundaries are conservative boundary. Major earthquake can occur at this boundary. Shallow focus earthquake can occur at this particular boundary. So this part we have covered in the plate tectonics. Then we have discovered what? We have covered the lake part. So what is the difference between the Crater Lake and Oxbow Lake? What difference you are finding between Crater Lake and Oxbow Lake? Any other region? Any other difference? Crater Lake we discussed is formed due to volcanic activity, while Oxbow is formed due to river related action of rivers. So we discuss action of rivers creates which type of lake? Oxbow. And action of volcanic eruption creates which type of lake? Crater Lake. What is the difference that you find between a Rift Valley lake and a Kori Lake? What difference you are finding between Rift Valley Lake and a Kori Lake? Rift Valley formed due to divergent. Then again Rift Valley we discuss it is formed due to tectonic. It is a which type of lake? It is a tectonic lake. While Kori Lake is which type of lake? Glacier. Yes, it is formed due to action of glacier. So we saw the division. We saw the division how lakes are being classified. So lakes are being classified based on what? Lakes are being classified based on what? Based on water. We discussed lakes can be classified based on water. So on the basis of water content, it can be freshwater lake, brackish water lake, and saltwater lake. On the basis of the what? So you can classify lakes on permanency. Yes, that thing we have discussed. Then salinity. Then based on creation. Yes. Based on river action. Based on glacier action. Based on wind actions. Yeah, tectonic movement and etc. So those are okay. What? Those are different kind of lakes that we have discussed. Clear? Then we started with concept of what? Concept of important lakes. We discussed concept of important lakes. So what are the important lakes you are finding? Important lakes that you are finding is, as we discussed, one of the lakes is Lake Titicaca. Why Lake Titicaca is famous? Why Lake Titicaca is famous? We discussed it is the world's largest commercially navigable lake. So it is known for commercial navigation. It is known for commercial navigation. So Lake Titicaca lies on Andes, and as we discussed, on the mountain areas, it is the commercially navigable lake. It is the largest lake of whom? It is the largest lake of South America also. Then we discussed Great Lakes in the last class. What are the Great Lakes? Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, and Lake Ontario. So those are the 5 Great Lakes we have covered. And we discussed, except for Lake Michigan, all other lakes are what? Yeah. So if question comes, which is the biggest lake, which is the biggest lake, or sorry, which is the largest lake lying in one country? Largest lake lying in one country. It is going to be Michigan. It is which is the largest lake lying in one country is going to be what? Michigan. We discussed Lake Superior is largest, but Lake Superior is sharing border between whom? Canada and US. So it doesn't lie in one country. Clear? So if question comes, which lake is the biggest, which is the largest lake lying in one country, it is going to be what? It is going to be Lake Michigan. Fine. As we discussed, if question comes, what is the continental lake, biggest continental lake or largest continental lake? Then it is going to be what? It is going to be Lake Superior. We discussed surface area. By surface area, which is the largest? Lake Superior is largest. So Lake Superior is going to be continental lake. Lake Superior is going to be what? Continental lake, largest continental lake. Fine. So Lake Superior, we are not saying it is the largest lake in country. Why? Because it is sharing border. But if you see, take a continent and ask, okay, which is the largest continental lake? Lake Superior is going to be nothing but, okay, largest continental lake. Fine. So that information. We discussed Lake Baikal in the last class. Lake Baikal is known for deepest lake and also second longest lake. Which is the longest lake we discussed? Lake Tanganyika. Okay, so we discussed Lake Tanganyika is the longest lake. Which is the source? Which lake is the source of Nile River? Victoria. Yes. Okay, Victoria is the source of Nile River. So that also discussed in the last class. Then we also covered what? We also covered this Tanganyika lies is sharing border with how many countries? Tanganyika is sharing border with how many countries? DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, then Tanzania, then it's sharing border with 2 countries, 3 countries. How many countries? 2 countries. Yes. Okay. Which lake is sharing border with 3 countries? Victoria. Which is the countries? Yeah, Kenya, Uganda, and yes. So these are, okay, what? These are the important facts that you have to keep in mind. Fine. Question can be asked that how many countries are sharing borders with Lake Victoria? Clear? So these are the important facts you have to keep in mind. Fine. So some of the other lakes that we have to cover is, as we discussed, Lake Ladoga is there. There's a question, RLC. This question has been also asked in UPSC regarding RLC. So these are other important lakes that you have to keep in mind. Fine. So next lake that you like, okay, right. Next lake that you mention is RLC. RLC. Again, it is mentioned as a sea, but as we discussed, it is, okay, what? It is a lake only. Clear? So write down the RLC. The RLC is shrinking in recent time. RLC is shrinking in recent time. Because of RLC is shrinking in recent time because of human activities. RLC is shrinking in recent time because of human activities, which is leading to reduction in size of the lake. reduction in size of the lake. It lies at at the junction of Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. Fine. So this lake is, on one side you will find Kazakh, on one side you will find what? Uzbekistan, that you are finding with regard to Aral Sea. Fine. So what the question has been asked in the examination, Thirteenth, which question is there? Which of the following have shrunk immensely, dried up in the recent past due to human activities? Option A, Aral Sea. Clear? So we discuss Aral Sea is mentioned, Lake Baikal is mentioned, Black Sea is something that is okay mentioned. So which lake we discussed is shrinking or reduction in size is happening? It is of Aral Sea. Clear? So that's why Aral Sea is shrinking in size. It is shrinking in size due to human activities. Clear? So Lake Baikal we discuss is what? Is a deepest lake. Also volume of water is going to be more in Lake Baikal. Why volume of water is going to be more? Because more deeper means what? More amount of water it is going to happen. So volume of water is also going to be more. So Lake Baikal is okay, that region. Now Black Sea is okay, also mentioned. Black Sea is something that is okay, also mentioned, because it is in news. Currently Black Sea is much in news because of Russia-Ukraine war. So you'll find here so this part, when you see, it is okay called as a Black Sea. So this part is called as what? This part is called as a Black Sea. So this part is Caspian Sea. This part is nothing but okay, Black Sea. Fine. So on one side Russia, on the other side Ukraine is there. Currently a lot of issues are going on. That's why Black Sea is okay in news. So that also you have to keep in mind. Any sea, any other thing which are in news currently, you have to keep that in mind. Question can be asked, which are the bordering countries around these sea. Fine. So that's why Aral Sea you have to keep in mind, because already questions has been asked in the case of examinations. Next, you can also mention about Lake Ladoga. The Lake Ladoga is located in northwestern Russia, and is the largest freshwater lake in Europe. Freshwater lake in Europe. Fine. So basically heading you mention important lakes continent wise. Important lakes continent wise. Point number 1 you write down. Point number 1. First you write down regarding Asia. You write down Lake Baikal. Lake Baikal is the largest lake in Asia by surface area. Lake Baikal is largest lake in Asia by surface area. Next you write down second, Europe. Lake Ladoga, Ladoga. Lake Ladoga is the largest lake in Europe. North America. Third you write down North America. Write down Lake Superior is the largest. Lake Superior is the largest. Next, South America. Lake Titicaca. Lake Titicaca. Fifth, you write down Africa. Africa. Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria. Sixth, you write down Australia. Australia. There's a Lake Erie. Lake Erie. Lake Erie, which is a salt water lake. Lake Erie, which is a salt water lake. And last, you write down Antarctica. Antarctica. Lake Vostok. Lake Vostok. V-O-S-T-O-K. Lake Vostok, which is the largest lake in Antarctica. Which is the largest lake in Antarctica. Fine. So these are some of the important part that you have to keep in mind with regard to lakes. Now, one question that you can get in the examination. So these are the four things. One is Lake Victoria. Second is what? Lake Titicaca. The third is Lake. It is Lake Chad. It is Lake Chad. C-H-A-D. Lake Chad. And fourth is Lake Ladoga. Now question here is, which of the lake is associated with Tanzania? Which of the lake is associated with Tanzania? Lake Ladoga, where you are finding? Lake Victoria, sharing border with Tanzania. Yes. Lake Titicaca, is it sharing border with Tanzania? Lake Titicaca, is it sharing border with Tanzania or not? Titicaca lies where? It lies in Titicaca lies in Africa, no? Yeah, it is lying in South America. So you can see this lies in South America. This lies, we discussed Lake Ladoga lies where? In Europe. So it lies, we discussed Lake Tanganyika is related with what? Lake Tanganyika is related with the Tanzania. Tanzania shares also border with what? Lake Tanganyika. Fine. So what you find here is Lake Chad. Lake Chad lies in Africa. But Lake Ladoga and Lake Titicaca does not lies in Africa, so you can rule it out. Clear? Lake Victoria is what? Lake Victoria is what? Sharing the border with Tanzania. And next is Africa. Next is Lake Chad, which lies in Africa. So here you will find what? Here you will find where the Lake Chad is there. You will see here the Lake Chad is there. Clear? But where is Tanzania? Tanzania is something that lies over here. Fine. So this is not part of what? Not part of Tanzania. Clear? So like this, bordering countries can also be asked in case of examinations. Fine. So these are important lakes that you have to keep in mind with regard to UPSC examinations. Fine. So we covered what? Great Lakes. 5 Great Lakes you have to keep in mind. Lake Tanganyika, Lake Titicaca, we discussed Lake Victoria, Lake Nyasa, Lake RLC. We also discussed Baikal Lake, Ladoga Lake, Vostok Lake, Erie Lake. All those particular lakes you have to keep in mind. Fine. Now, what is the usage of these lakes? Why we are studying the lake? What is the usage of these lakes? The first thing, it can act as a source of what? Source of food. Lakes can act as a source of food. How lakes can act as a source of food? How lakes can act as a source of food? Fishes, you can go, okay, fish, you can go for aquacultures and other thing. So what you see is, okay, fishes are, okay, one of the source. Clear? So it can act as a source of food. Second important thing, it can also act as a source of minerals. How it can act as a source of minerals? Like saltwater lake. If saltwater lake is there, what you can derive? NaCl, salt you can derive. So it can also act as a source of what? Source of minerals also. Fine. What else is the importance? You can use it in navigation. You can use lakes for what? You can use lake for navigation, from moving from one point to another point. For example, this particular region, if you see Great Lakes are connected via this through the Atlantic Oceans. They are connected via this to Atlantic Ocean, and this is referred as a St. Lawrence waterway. It is referred as a St. Lawrence waterway. So it is connected with what? It is connected with the Atlantic Ocean, and it is referred as what? It is referred as a St. Lawrence waterway also. Fine. So you can use it for navigation. That is okay. And then another important source of what? Another important source of lakes. Clear? We discussed why humans are creating the lakes. What is the reasons humans are creating a lake? We discussed for storage of water. So you can store water for whom? You can store water for hydroelectricity generation. Hydroelectricity. You can store water for what? Control flooding. You can store water for controlling flooding. So you can create lakes for controlling flood. You can also create lakes for generation of hydroelectricity, for drinking water, for irrigation. For irrigation, all these can be what? All these can be purpose of lakes also. So lakes can also be used for what? Lakes can also be used for hydroelectricity power generation, as a water storage, as a drinking water, as a what we have written is controlling of flood. So these are okay. What? These are the other purpose of lakes. Next, what else is the importance of lake? Transportation, that is okay. Navigation we have written, to movement from one area to another area, so you can transport the good. Another important part of lake is moderation of climates. Moderation of climates. So lakes can also helps in what? Lakes can also helps in moderation of climate. How lakes can helps in moderation of climates? Let's say this is a land area. This is a land area, and this part is what? This part is your lakes. This part is your lakes. Now, what you have to keep in mind is concept of, there is a term called specific heat. Anyone aware about this term? Specific heat. What is the term specific heat means? Anyone aware? Yeah. It is the amount of temperature, it is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of the body by 1 degree Celsius. Amount of heat required, temperature of a body by 1 degree Celsius. That is called as what? That is called as a specific heat. So what is specific heat? Amount of heat requires to raise the temperature of a body by 1 degree Celsius. Fine. So there are certain substances which get heated quickly. There are certain substances which takes times to nothing but okay, what? Which takes times to heat. For example, when you cook some food quickly get heated, and quickly you cook it, finish cooking in a few minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Some takes larger time to cook, that is okay there. Clear? So there are certain substances which get heated quickly. There are certain substances which takes times to what? Which takes times to get heated. And this depends upon what? This depends upon specific heat. Clear? If a specific heat of a substance is higher, then what will happen? If a specific heat of a substance is higher, then they will take more time because they will require more energy. You have to give more heat to raise their temperature by 1 degree Celsius. Clear? If okay, a specific heat is lesser, then what will happen? They get quickly heated. You require lesser heat to raise the temperature of body by what? 1 degree Celsius. Fine. So this is what you have to keep in mind with regard to term specific heat. So when sun rays are something that are falling, when sun rays are something that are falling, it is falling also on water, it is falling also on land, which will get heated quickly and which will not get heated quickly. So what you see is, okay, land has a lesser specific heat. It gets heated quickly. It gets heated quickly as compared to what? As compared to water. Water takes times to heat and water take also times to cool down. Fine. So specific heat is higher means water will take more time to heat and more time to cool down also. That is okay there. Land get heated quickly also and cools down quickly also. That is okay there. Clear? So as we discussed, if it is heated quickly, what will happen? If it is heated quickly, what will happen? What will happen? We discussed low pressures are going to be formed. Remember, we discussed anything heated will what will happen? Expansion. Expansion means which type of pressure is going to be there? Low pressure. While which type of pressure is going to be formed here? High pressure, because water is not getting heated, water is cooler. So water at here you'll see high pressure formation is going to be there. Clear? Now wind will move from where to where? Wind always move from where to where? High pressure to low pressure. Wind always move from where to where? High pressure to low pressure. So when wind is moving from here, so what will happen? Wind will take cooler effect towards what? Cooler effect towards land, because this is more cooler than the land part. So when wind is moving from here to here, wind will take cooler effect from here to here. So that is why we are saying it helps in what? It helps in moderation of climate. Land which is more heated, you are feeling more heat. This heat will be minimized because of the cooler wind coming from where? Coming from nothing but the lake side. So that's why you'll see what? You'll see moderation in climate. So earlier, Bangalore used to be called as what? Bangalore used to be called as a land of lake. A lot of lakes were something that were present in the Bangalore. Okay, and you see they used to moderate the climate. But now as expansion of the cities are happening, what you are seeing? Okay, lakes are decreasing. When lakes are decreasing, what will happen? You'll see now more hotter conditions as compared to nothing but previously. So why it is happening? Because moderation of climate is something that is not happening. Clear? So lakes helps in what? Lakes helps in moderation of climate. How lakes helps in moderation of climate? Because water does get heated quickly while land get heated quickly. So as a result, wind moves from water towards nothing but the land and takes the cooler effect from here to here. This helps in what? This helps in moderation of climate. Fine. So the lakes can be source of food also. Lakes can be source of minerals also. It can be used for navigation. It can be used for storage of water. It can be used for storage of water. You can store water for hydroelectricity generation. You can store water for irrigation. You can store water for controlling flood. You can also store water for what? For the drinking water. Moderation of climate, that is another effect of the lakes. So these are nothing but uh, the questions that you can get in the examination, that what is importance of lake. Importance of lake. Importance of lake. Or you can get a question like this in the mains examination: discuss various types of lake, comma, their distribution and their importance. Clear? So discuss the various type of lake, their distribution and their importance. Those type of questions you can get in the mains examination. Clear? Or they may associate that the lakes are disappearing in modern development. Lakes are what is happening? Disappearing. They are reducing in size. They are disappearing. They are reducing in size. So what will its effect on climate change? Clear? So that type of question can form in the case of examination, that if lakes are disappearing because of modern development, because as we are expanding, we are ensuring is lakes are lakes are filled up, and there we are constructing buildings and etc. That is there. So with lakes disappearing, what is going to happen? It is going to cause a change in climate in that particular regional area, local area, because lakes helps in what? Lakes helps in moderation of climate. Fine. So those type of questions you can get in the case of examinations regarding lakes. Fine. Any doubt regarding this part? The last that we have is a concept of plateaus. So this is the last topic that is left in geomorphology that we are now going to take up, the concept of plateaus. Fine. So what basically is plateaus? What is a plateau basically? They are formed due to volcanic eruption. Anyone else? What is plateau? What is plateau basically? We have discussed at a
flat elevated land forms that rise sharply above the surrounding area.
Flat elevated land. Yes, that is correct. Flat elevated land, or we call it as a tabletop land. Tabletop lands. So it is a flat elevated land, or also referred as which type of land? Tabletop land. Fine. So like table is there, like your table is there. How it is there? Flat and with steep edges. This is how the table is being constructed. No, it has a legs. Table has a legs, and it has a flat top. That is okay there. Likewise, plateaus is also a flat elevated land with steep edges. Flat elevated land with steep edges. This is what we referred as a plateaus. So plateaus are what? Plateaus are flat elevated tabletop land. Fine. So this is how you can define the plateaus. Fine. What is the importance of this plateau? What is the importance of plateau? So the first important thing that you find is the 1/3 of Earth landmass. 1/3 of Earth landmass is in the form of what? Is in the form of plateaus. So 1/3 of the Earth landmass is in the form of what? In the form of plateaus. Clear? So it is one of the important features. It is one of the important features that you find on the land. Apart from what? Apart from hills, you are finding mountains. So you are finding hills, you are finding mountains, you are finding plains areas. Like that, plateaus is okay. Another most important feature that you find on the land. And 1/3 of Earth's landmass is covered with what? Covered with the plateaus only. Fine. Now, the plateaus, the first major importance is what? It has records of Earth's history. Earth's history or geological evolution. Geological evolution. How the Earth landmass has evolved, that information is there with whom? That information is there with plateaus. Because plateaus can be formed due to various reasons. Like we discussed in the last class, it can be formed due to volcanic eruption also. It can be formed due to tectonic activities also. So what you find is what? What you find is, okay, it has a record of Earth's history, how things has formed, how things has evolved. And it tells you about, okay, what? It tells you about geological evolution. That is, okay, one of the important aspects that you find with regard to plateaus. The second major thing, the plateaus also rich in minerals. This is very rich in minerals. Why they are rich in minerals? As we discussed, plateaus can be formed due to volcanic eruption. When they are formed due to volcanic eruption, what will happen? The minerals, that is iron, magnesiums, all other minerals are going to come onto what? Are going to come onto the surface. That's why plateaus are very rich in minerals. For example, you see Deccan Plateau. Deccan Plateau is rich in what? Rich in iron. It is rich in coal. So what you see is, okay, you'll find coal also in case of Deccan Plateau. Iron you'll find other materials. So it is also very rich in what? It is also very rich in minerals. So that is, okay, another important aspect of, okay, the plateaus. The third important aspect is what? Yes, it is also an important source for agriculture. Agriculture, as weathering of what? As weathering of the plateaus will create fertile soil. Weathering of plateaus can create fertile soil. Especially like you see Deccan Plateau, when it is eroded, what is being formed? black salts are being formed. Likewise, you'll see the lowest plateau that you find in China. This also provides fertile soil. So this can be a source of what? This can be a source of fertile soil. Can be used for agriculture purposes also. That is okay. Another important aspect of what? That is another important aspect of plateaus. Okay, so plateaus covered 1/3 of Earth's landmass. It has a record of Earth's history, geological evolution. It is very rich in what? Minerals. Then you find what? Agriculture. It can be used for what? It can be used for agriculture purposes. That is okay. Also important aspect. Then, as we discussed, it is a tabletop land. When it is a tabletop land, what will happen? You will see rivers flowing like this and then falling like what? And then falling like this. So when river flows and falls like this at the edges, what will happen? You can use it for what? You can use it for hydropower generation. Okay, you can use it for hydropower generation also. Fine. So another important source that plateaus have is they can help in what? They can help in hydropower generation. And this also creates what? When the river falls at the edges, we discuss what is created. What is created? Waterfalls are being created. When rivers falls at the edges, what is going to be created? Waterfalls are going to be created. Clear? So that's why it can provide what? Tourism aspect. It is important also for tourism. Tourism, because it provides scenic beauty, it provides waterfalls, some adventures also you can do over here. So what you see is it is important also for tourism. That is another importance of the plateaus. Earlier, plateaus also had certain strategic importance. For example, earlier rulers and etc. used to build fort. They used to build fort at the plateaus because plateaus used to be what? Higher land. As we discussed, plateaus are what? They are higher land. So it is difficult for the enemy to come and attack the plateau region. So that's why plateau used to be used for what? Building forts. Like you will find Daulatabad Fort, or you'll find Mando Fort. So Mando Fort has been created on Malwa Plateau, Daulatabad Fort on Deccan Plateau. So what you see is this also used for nothing but what? This is also used for strategic significance. That is okay. Another important aspect that you find. Clear? Clear? Next, plateaus also plays a very important role in case of what? In case of ecological. It has an ecological significance also. Ecological significance also. What is ecological significance of plateaus? Like Tibetan Plateau is known for unique flora and fauna. Unique flora and fauna. You'll find Tibetan Plateau have this particular unique flora and fauna. Similarly, Deccan Plateau known for different unique flora and fauna. Clear? So it is also have certain ecological significance also. That is okay. Also importance of plateaus. Clear? So it has a strategic importance. It has nothing but okay what? To cultural importance for tourism and etc. It also can be used for hydropower generations. That is okay there. It can be used. It can be used for minerals. It can be used for agricultures. For a lot of purposes, you can use what? You can use nothing but okay plateaus. Fine. So this is the reason plateaus are very important. This is the reason plateaus are very important, and especially importance for whom? Especially importance for industry, industrial or economic importance. Especially importance for industries and economic purposes. That's why UPSC has asked question, what is the significance of whom? What is the significance of plateaus? That questions has been asked in case of examination. Yeah, or why plateaus are industrially and economically very important. So you have to write these points that plateaus have what? Plateaus provides you records of Earth's history, geological evolution. It is rich in minerals. It can be used for agriculture. It can be used for hydropower generation, for tourism, for strategic importance is also there. Ecological significance are also there. These are importance of what? These are importance of plateaus. Fine. So in simple term, we're defining plateaus as what? Plateaus as a tabletop or flat elevated land with steep edges. Fine. Now, sometimes you'll see this is how the plateaus are there. But sometimes because of the flowing of rivers and etc. flows on this, and when rivers and etc. flows on this, what will happen? They will erode. They will erode. So because of this, you will find plateaus like this. Eroded part has been there. Clear? So some part of the plateaus, this flat part has now been eroded due to what? Eroded due to the action of river. Clear? So this eroded part is called as what? Valleys. This eroded part can be called as a valleys. Clear? And so if it is too much eroded, then it becomes isolated plateaus, like isolated plateaus. So this highland part is different, this highland part is become different, this highland part becomes different. Earlier they were what? Earlier they were nothing but joint, but now they have become different because of erosion, bigger erosion. So such type of isolated plateaus are called as a outlier plateau. Such type of isolated plateaus are referred as what? Outlier plateau. Fine. So if plateaus are heavily eroded, then what will happen? They can become what? They can become a outlier plateaus. And how they can be eroded? Due to river actions, due to other actions, they can be eroded. Fine. So these important points you have to keep in mind with regard to what? These important points you have to keep in mind with regard to plateaus. Now, what are the types? First of all, plateaus can be divided. Plateaus can be divided again based on what? Their locations. Based on the types and how they are being created. So they can be again classified in different types. They can be classified based on location. They can be classified based on nothing but types, and they can also be classified based on how they are created. Clear? So one process is what? Thermal metamorphosis. Another process of creation of plateaus could be tectonic movement. Another process for creation of plateaus could be volcanic eruptions. Volcanic eruptions. So they can be created because of various reasons, which could be thermal metamorphosis, which could be tectonic movement, which could be volcanic eruptions. They can also be what? They can be also of various types, like we can classify them as dissected plateau, or you can also classify them as volcanic plateau. So based on types, you can classify them as a dissected plateaus also, and you can classify them as a volcanic plateaus also. Fine. Based on location, you can classify them into what? Into intermontane plateau. Intermontane plateau. You can also classify them as continental plateau. Intermontane plateau, you can also classify them as continental plateaus. So these are what? These are various classification of plateaus you have to keep in mind. Fine. Fine. So the first is how they are created, how the plateaus are being created. The first part is what? Thermal metamorphosis. This is one type of plateaus creation. So as we discussed, let's say this is a land area. This is a land area, and we discussed this is how what will happen. Convectional current are something that are rising, and we discussed this convectional current diverges. When it is rising, it is diverging, and because of the divergence, what will happen? Spread of what? Spread of lava. Lava will spread like this, and when Earth's surface comes in contact with the hot lava, what will happen? When Earth's surface comes in contact with hot lava, expansion will happen. It get heated, So as we discussed, it get heated. When heated means what? Expansion is going to happen. So this is okay, hot magma or hot lava, and because of which earth surface is heating. Because of earth surface heating, what will happen? Expansion will happen. So as a result, you'll see this particular part is now expanded. This particular part is now expanded. So this is earth surface. As we discussed, this much part is now expanded, elevated because of expansion. Clear? So when anything is going to heated, what will happen? We discussed it is going to expand. So this part is now expanded because of nothing but okay. Because of what? Because of hot magma. Fine. Huh. It can move in that side also. No. What you see is what? What you see is, we discussed where the convectional currents are generated. They are generated in a mantle region. Okay, so they are generally flowing in which region? Mantle region. Some of the magma can, okay, what? If the convectional currents are stronger, they can what? They can come into the crust. When they can come into the crust, what will happen? What will happen? As we discussed here, what will happen? Here you'll see what? Here you'll see either intrusive igneous rocks formation, or here you'll see what? Extrusive igneous rocks formation. So we discussed intrusive, if cools and solidifies below the surface of earth, intrusive rock formation. If cools and solidifies above, then extrusive rock formation. So when it is expanding, okay, when it is okay, here expanding, here it is diverging, and what will happen? Magma is spreading like this. Then what will happen? Okay, expansion will happen. So this is what expansion is, something that is okay happening. When where there will be? Yeah, if convectional current is more stronger and are able to okay break the crust and comes into nothing but okay this particular zone, then what will happen? We'll see expansion will happen. If it is not, otherwise it will continuously move up and down, okay, what, in this particular region. So that's why we discussed sea flow. Convectional current theory says what? Wherever rising limbs are there you can see nothing but okay what? Eruption can happen, and there you can see formation of ridges. Wherever falling limbs are there, what will happen? You'll see plate will go down, and as a result, okay, what? Trenches can form over here. Fine. So this convectional current is in the mantle region, so it will not in entire crust region that is okay there. This entire crust region is your lithosphere, harder one, which is moving because of nothing but okay what? Which is moving because of convectional current. Fine. So when remember we talked about something called batholith, how the batholith was there? Yes, okay. So we discussed if it's spread like this, okay, what will happen? Batholith. If okay, it is cooling and solidifying like this, what will happen? Dikes. If cooling and solidifying happens like this, then sills. So this is what we have discussed. So when it is spread like this, it will heat. When it will heat, what will happen? Expansion will happen. When expansion, then you will see creation of a elevated land that is okay there. Clear? So this land is going to be elevated, and when this land is going to be elevated, you'll see formation of plateaus. Fine. Because of heating also, what happens? Because of heating also, what will happen? You know that rocks are going to be what? Rocks are going to be what? Reorganize and recrystallize. Rocks are going to be reorganize and recrystallize. Remember, what is the definition for metamorphic rock we have written? What is the definition for metamorphic rock? How metamorphic rocks are being formed? Weathering of sedimentary rocks. No, the sedimentary rocks are formed due to weathering of igneous rocks. Sedimentary rocks are formed due to weathering of igneous rocks. How metamorphic rocks are formed? Yeah, formed due to change in reorganization. We say it is formed due to reorganization and recrystallization of igneous and sedimentary rock. How this reorganization or recrystallization happens? When it is exposed to high heat or high temperature. That's why we discuss thermal metamorphosis and thermally induced okay metamorphic rock and dynamically induced metamorphic rock. So dynamically induced are what? Dynamically induced are pressure one, and thermally induced are what? So when this rocks which is present on the earth's surface are exposed to heat, what will happen? What will happen? They'll reorganize and recrystallize. They will change into which type of rock? Metamorphic rock. Okay, they will change into which type of rock? Metamorphic rock. And that's why this process is referred as what? This process is referred as a thermal metamorphosis. This process is referred as what? Thermal metamorphosis. Why thermal metamorphosis? Because you'll see convectional current are something that are rising. When convectional current are rising, lava may come out. When lava come out and cools and solidifies below the earth's surface, because the earth's surface is in contact with what? In contact with the heated lava, expansion will happen. This expansion will create a elevated land, and this is called as what? This is called as a plateaus created due to thermal metamorphosis. For example, Ethiopian highland. Remember last class we discussed Ethiopian highland region, or you'll find massive central, this plateau that you find in France. These are created due to what? These are created due to thermal metamorphosis. So Ethiopian highland or massive central France plateau, these are created due to thermal metamorphosis. Fine. The second type of plateaus is tectonic movement. So last class we discussed whenever continent collision can happen, what will happen? When continent collision will happen, what will happen? We discussed there will be formation of what? Fold mountains. Sediments will get folded. And also what will happen? One plate is going to be what? Upthrusted. One plate is going to be nothing but okay, upthrusted. So we discussed Eurasian plate is upthrusted over what? Indian plates. And here you'll see formation of whom? Himalayas. Because of what? Because of folding of sediments. So that part we have discussed, and because of this highland regions, okay, are going to be formed, elevated lands are going to be formed, and this part we discussed is called as which type of plateau? Tibetan plateau. Yes. So one which is created due to what? One which is created due to tectonic movement. The plateau that is created due to tectonic movement or created due to collision of the plates, which is created due to the collision of the plates, are called as what? Collision of the plates are called as a tectonic plateaus. Fine. So examples could be what? Examples could be your Tibetan plateau, which is formed due to what? Which is formed due to tectonic movement. Fine. The third type of plateau that can be formed is what? Due to volcanic eruption. So we discussed when magma comes out and spread to a larger distance, then what will happen? Cooling and solidification happens through a larger distance, then what will happen? It is going to form which type of plateau? It is going to form volcanic plateau. So when magma comes out, cools and solidifies over a larger distance, then it is going to form which type of plateau? Volcanic plateau. So what should come out? Which lava is going to spread? We discussed basic lava. Yes, when lava is basic in nature, basic lava means which content should be less? Silica content should be less. Yes. So basic lava means silica content should be less. When silica content is less in lava, then what will happen? We discussed lava is going to be more fluid in nature. When more fluid in nature, then it will spread. When it is more fluid in nature, then what will happen? It will spread, and it will spread, then it will form which type of plateau? Volcanic plateau. Fine. Any doubt regarding this particular thing? If lava is acidic in nature, then what will form? Mountains. Volcanic mountains are being formed. But if it is a basic in nature, then okay, what will happen? Plateaus are going to be formed. So we discussed here generally which type of eruptions are there? Basaltic. Basalt are something that are erupting. Basalt flows through a great distance. So examples of such type of plateau is what? Deccan plateau. We discussed Deccan plateau is formed due to what? Deccan plateau is formed due to volcanic eruptions. It is formed due to volcanic eruption. So this type of this type of plateau you have to keep in mind. Fine. So plateaus are created due to what? It can be created due to thermal metamorphosis. Plateaus can be created due to tectonic movement. Plateaus can be created due to volcanic eruption. In case of thermal metamorphosis, what will happen? The magma will not erupt, rather it will spread, and as a result Earth's surface will get heated, expand, and becomes a highland part. In volcanic eruption, they are going to come out and spread onto the surface and create a island region, volcanic plateau. Tectonic movement due to upthrusting process. We'll see creation of what? We'll see creation of plateaus. Fine. Then there are two other types that you see: dissected plateau or volcanic plateau. Fine. So plateau that are formed. Volcanism is which type of force? Volcanism is which type of force? Endogenic, no. Endogenic, we discussed endogenic can be classified into what? Catastrophe and diastrophe. Okay, diastrophism, slow movement or slow changes. Catastrophism, sudden changes. So sudden changes we classified into what? Volcano and earthquake. So the one that is formed due to endogenic forces, okay, because of volcanism is called as which type of plateau? Volcanic plateau. But there is another type of plateau we have written called dissected plateau. What is dissected plateau means? What is dissected plateau means? So let's say this is a plateau. When this plateau is cut into many parts, then it is going to be what? It is going to be called as a dissected plateau. How it will be cut into many parts? Due to erosion of whom? Erosion by whom? Erosion by rivers. Okay, so when this plateau is cut into many parts due to erosion by the rivers, by the wind or other actions, then it is going to become what? Which type of plateau? Dissected plateau. Fine. So that's why based on what? Based on types, you can have volcanic plateau which is formed due to endogenic. Dissected is exogenic. You know that weathering and erosion happens due to which process? Exogenic process. So when this plateau is being eroded, cut into many parts, then it is going to be called as which type of plateau? Dissected plateau. Fine. The third type is based on location, intermontane plateau or continental plateau. Fine. The plateau that lies between two mountains are called as what? Are called as a intermontane plateau. So let's say this is a highland part. This plateau lies between two mountains, and plateaus lies between two mountains. It is going to be called as what? It is going to be called as a intermontane plateau. Clear? If a plateau on one side is surrounded by planar areas, oceans, or any other sea, then it is going to be called as what? It is going to be called as a continental plateau. Fine. So based on type, you can have these classification: location, types, and how they are being created. Clear? So they can be intermontane plateau, continental plateau, dissected plateau, volcanic plateau, or due to thermal metamorphosis you can create, due to tectonic movement you can create, or due to volcanic eruption you can create. Fine. Continental plateau. Fine. So if one of the we discussed, if plateaus lies between two continent, it is two mountain, it is called as what? Intermontane plateau. But if on one side of the plateau, if one side of the plateau you have a plain region, on one side you have a plain region, or on one side of the plateau you have oceans, seas, and etc., then such type of plateaus are referred as what? Continental plateau. Then such type of plateaus are referred as a continental plateaus. Fine. Fine, which is correct one? First two are wrong. Anyone else? Third one is correct. Fine. So as we discussed, plateaus covers how much of Earth's landmass? 1/3. Okay, that is around 33%. So this is wrong. Plateaus are created always due to volcanic eruption. We discussed plateaus can be created due to tectonic movement also, can be created due to thermal metamorphosis also. So that is wrong. Yes, third is correct. Plateaus which are eroded can form deep cut and valleys, can be called as what? Dissected plateaus. Fine. So this is how questions can be formed statement wise in case of examinations. Fine. So these are what? These are some of the important plateaus of the world. So you are finding here Tibetan Plateau, Deccan Plateau, Mongolia, Central Siberian Plateau, Central Russian Upland. You can see Australian Plateau, Ethiopian Highland, Arabian Plateau, Deccan Plateau, South African Plateau, then Brazilian Plateau. Here we discuss Massive Central, which lies in case of the France. Then you'll see here Colorado Plateau, Mexican Plateau, you find Patagonian. So different type of nothing but plateau that you are finding. Fine. So these are what? These are important locations of plateaus and important plateaus of the world. Fine. So in the examination, you may get a question regarding plateaus name and in which countries they are located or what are the significance of those particular plateaus. Clear? So write down regarding heading important plateaus of the world. Important plateaus of the world. Important plateaus of the world. Write down regarding Tibetan Plateau. Tibetan Plateau. Write down. Highest and largest plateau. Highest and largest plateau formed due to tectonic movement and referred as roof of the world. Roof of the world. It plays crucial role in the formation of monsoon in India. Crucial role in formation of monsoon in India and is an intermontane plateau montane M-O-N-T-A-N-E, intermontane plateau, surrounded by Himalayas on the south, and Kunlun range, K-U-N-L-U-N, Kunlun range, K-U-N-L-U-N, Kunlun range in the northeastern region. In the northeastern region. Fine. Next, we write down regarding this plateau, Columbia Plateau. C-O-L-O-M-B-I-A. Columbia Plateau. It is also referred as Columbia Snake Plateau. Columbia Snake Plateau as Columbia River and its tributary Snake River, as Columbia River and its tributary Snake River, Columbia River and its tributary Snake Snake River flows through it. It is surrounded by Cascade Range on one side and Rockies Mountain on the other side. It is surrounded by Cascade Range on one side and Rockies Mountain on the other side. Rockies Mountain on the other side. Rockies Mountain on the other side. That's why Intermontane Plateau. Intermontane Plateau. Next we write down regarding Colorado Plateau. So again, another important plateau, Colorado Plateau. Lying on the western part of USA. It is lying on the western part of USA and is.
Can I take few minutes?
Yes, sir.
For Vizag distance.
Please. No, good morning to all of you. Sir, please. You will provide the for two. Okay, yeah. Please, you can.
We have Dr. Narayan Gowda, sir. He is ex-Vice Chancellor of GKVK Agricultural University, and he is also UPSC interview board member, UPSC member, and he has conducted mock interviews and sessions for IAS aspirants and for other state as well as union government services. So I request Dr. Vishnu sir, our director, to welcome Dr. Narayan Gowda, sir.
The professor already have welcomed, but just adding to Mr. Sunil, the speciality of today's is, I'm very proud and privileged to have today is Professor Narayan Gowda ji. Professor Narayan Gowda ji is a student of Gandhi Krishi Vijnana Kendra, that is Agriculture University, Bangalore. As a student, he joined and he did his MSc, subsequently PhD, and he occupied a position called as assistant professor, associate professor, and professor, deans of various sections, and registrar, vice chancellor, all things. More than 4 decades plus he has served in the field of agriculture sciences for all academic fields. And apart from this, Saab is also having national awards 2 times. Or apart from that, he has published scientific journals both at national level as well as the international level. And presently also is not sitting, is too much involving with the farmers, and whatever the problems are there for the farmers, with the help of the government, is helping of the farmers. And Saab is very close to our former Prime Minister Dr. Devagowda ji, as well as our ex Chief Minister Kumaraswamy ji. And is whatever the agriculture issue is concerned, always they take the advice of Saab and implement that into the society. So with all this, a great personality we have today with us. It's my proud and privilege to take this opportunity again on behalf of this academy, on behalf of all of you, and my personal behalf. I heartily welcome to you, sir. Sir, I was also discussed earlier. This institute was established, started just last year, with the minimum students of around 12 to 13 students. And fortunately or unfortunately, all of them, they have taken the exams, and some of them they have Today we have given the introduction, and then even subsequently we have also started that concept. And we have 4 or 5 students, offline students. They're all dedicated, sir. And with all this little introduction, I request you to please interact with the students, sir, some few minutes with all your great experience. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning to every one of you. The founder of this institution and also the director, Sri Vishwanath, faculty members, and the prospective UPSC candidates. First of all, my hearty congratulations to you for I get chosen to take up this UPSC exam, because setting the mind for this itself is a big challenge. Possibly before coming over here, you might have spent a couple of weeks to discuss with your parents, with your colleagues and your known people whether I should get in here or not. And of course, these are the formative days that is happening to everybody. And once they are very firm, once they are very clear that I can prove, nobody can stop them. This is the message what I am trying to give. You have come here, and if you go with the determination, I will prepare and rise to the expectation. Nobody can stop you. Everything is in our domain now. Only thing is you have to make up the mind. So since you have come with a determination, I only wish that your continuous efforts, your devoted efforts, with the support of very experienced faculty here, you can certainly get through. This is not a difficult one. And last year, very interestingly, we had people from different parts of the country who have come for mock interview, and some of them straight away came to my house. I'm residing just about 2 furlongs away from here, the main road to the left side. And some of them, I was in the board of UPSC, and they came down straight away and we guided them. And certainly one interesting experience is one by Saubhagya, happens to be an agricultural graduate from US Harvard. Her father called me on 5th of January 2024, informing me, sir, I am proud to make a mention. My daughter has completed UPSC mains and she is appearing for interview. She wants to get guidance from you. Then I was feeling happy because after BSc getting into UPSC and getting passed with straight away immediately with graduation is not an easy job. I was feeling proud. No problem. Let she come on 15th of January, because that happens to be Sankranti. Last year, unusually it comes on 15, and last year it was on 15. Otherwise, most of the years we get on 14, Sankranti. So I told her, she come on 15, would be able to guide her. And on that particular day, they came, both the father and daughter. And of course, I have a small office room, which Vishwanath was good enough to see today. Oh, it's so much decorated. No, it is not actually, in my opinion, poorly decorated, because so many awards, I don't have place to keep them. I'm finding difficult to dispose them, how to do it. So my job is to place them all my grandchildren's room here and there, let them feel happy. Anyway, so I interacted with her for nearly 3 hours, from 10:30 in the morning to almost like 1:30. So she was so much impressed with the discussions, and more than that, I was so much impressed with her way of interfacing with the discussions, how she was coping with the questions, answers, other things. And I told her at the end, 100% will be true, you can go it. This is what I said. But do not be, do not take this as a message for taking casualness. Okay, you should be able to continuously prepare for this, but you have all the potential to get through. That's what I said. Very interestingly, she had her interview on February 29th last year, and she completed next evening, same evening or morning. He telephoned me that my empowerment in interview was very good. I was very much satisfied, and I said, "You will be certainly through. There is no problem. Come comfortably." She secured first rank from Karnataka, and 101st from the national total for the entire candidates. Of course, I was expecting she will get IAS. Marginally she lost, but she got IPS. And so the Karnataka get only, she is going to report very shortly, because both the training programs are over. Both in our that is Lal Bahadur Academy at Masuri, and also at Sardar Patel Academy at Hyderabad. She is shortly going to. Why I'm telling this, it's only about determination. If you have that willpower, nobody can stop. Then how many hours of preparation initially, that also matters important. At least you have to work minimum of 8 to 10 hours every day, and that will certainly take you forward. And preparing in the early morning is the best time. Anything between 4 to 7, 4 to 8 will be best time. Nothing can go away from your memory. So those are the timings which are very, very appropriate. But doesn't mean that you should not concentrate in the afternoon or evening. You can also spend, but this is the most potential time for you to absorb everything what you are going to read. Okay, and this is only my message. This hard work only, not your total intelligence. Intelligence is required, not that, but hard work is very, very important here. So never leave anything for chance factor. You never guess the question. Only this thing will come. There is no need for preparing it. No, never. You prepare for everything and be confident, because the point is, if you leave a particular question and go, there is no need for reading. If unfortunately if that question comes in the first, you get somehow disturbed, and you're going to have a bigger impact in the subsequent answering subsequent questions. So my only suggestion is, never leave anything. You cover everything on the earth. Okay, whatever that is. Particularly for general subject, there is no end. We knew. And for that, it requires a lot of preparations, lot of information gathering, other thing. And lastly, what is required is go on writing. Go on writing whatever you read, whatever you. Once you write, it will be very strong in your memory. It will have double impact in our memory power. So go on writing and just having a passing reference of those things once you write, and that will going to be very strong in your memory power, and you will not lose at any point of time. And these only few suggestions. Of course, this is volumes of information. I don't want to speak on the first day itself. Shanath has requested us to associate with this. We'll try to contribute whatever little we can do it wholeheartedly. We'll be with you. So do your best. Nothing like that. Okay. Everything is at your court. The ball is in your court, right? You have to only write it. Nobody else can write it. Okay. What's your name? What is your degree program background? BCom?
Graduation from Bangalore.
Okay. Yourself?
Sir, my name is Rohan. I completed BTech from Hyderabad.
Okay. How many years of graduation?
Just 1 year.
1 year. Okay. 1 year gap only.
Yes.
Yourself?
I'm previously I have graduated from BBA background, sir.
From where? Which?
From Reva University, sir.
Reva University. Okay. Wonderful. You have 3 different background students. So that even after a classroom, you can also find some time to interact. On issues, see some issues which a teacher, a lecturer has raised here, you may find some difficulty in having clarity of understanding. If you can spend some time after the class, at least about 10 to 15 minutes, that's also going to help you. Because what is being discussed will be remembered better than what is being read. So that is also there. So I try to discuss certain issues of common interest on this subject, so that that will strengthen your memory power, strengthen your remembrance, and it will have a bigger impact in your whole performance. This is what I have seen over the period. Okay. Any of the questions also you can ask for. I don't want to speak everything one day. 3 questions, clarifications you have, you can also ask for.
Sir has great experience assisting, supporting students for the competitive exams, also for the interview, and he understands how the system works, starting from the preparation till the interview and the post selection. So anything related to UPSC preparation or post selection, anything, if you are curious about something, definitely you can ask. Question.
So we are going to appear for the competitive exams like SCC and the IB exams. So could you please tell us like the tips for those 2 exams, sir?
Can you repeat your question?
So we are going to appear for the competitive exams like SCC and IB
Okay.
very soon. So can you please give us some tips for that, like how to clear and what are the things that we need to focus on those 2 exams?
I'm not very knowledgeable about this. I think our expert speaker is going to provide the input, because I'm only familiar with the UPSC mains and followed by interview and other things. But these preparatory issues, we are not very much being associated at this stage. In fact, only today I had an occasion to be with you, but they are very experienced. They are going to help you get no problem. But what we are aiming at, our preparation for the mains, that is very crucial. And if you are doing the hard work, nothing can stop you. That's what counts. But all of the basic things, other things, they were able to guide you, because they are the system for last almost like a decade. So they are more knowledgeable about those things. They will make no problem, right? Okay.
Anything else?
Sir, how is the agriculture will step by future?
Hmm?
How the agriculture will step by we have support price the program will implement the programs in the daily projects, and we are there future days in the India developing? Will agriculture be same as the past days, green revolution, some of them, or will be modeling to the AI revolution?
So this is all a big question. Difficult to comprehend and tell in one or two sentences. But one thing I am very clear and also very positive that future of Indian economy grows with the agriculture greatly because we have such a potential opportunity. Reason being, India's soil, Indian water resources, the temperature, everything is so much blessed, and we can grow anything on the earth. What is not possible in some of the countries like Western countries, poor countries, everything is possible in this country. So that being the case, agriculture has so much of potential. Number one. Number two, providing a market to the farmers still a big gamble, right? Even today, despite 75 years of independence, we are not able to find a definite profitable price for the farmers. And what the MSP the government has fixed over the year, and they are going to add only 5%, 10% like that. It's very pretty, very marginal increase in the what is called MSP rates, other things. But if you look at the cost of production, other thing, labor wages, the biggest challenge in the recent days is increase in labor. The price of the one labor cost per day now anywhere in Karnataka is around 600 to 800 rupees. And if you go to Kerala, a place like Kerala, more than 1,000 rupees. And many farmers in Kerala, they have stopped cultivating paddy. There is not going to be economic. Likewise, the prices of all the inputs are also increasing very considerably. And if you look at from different sectors, labor, inputs, machineries, and transport, other things, it will have increased as 25-30% in a given year. But what is increase? What the increase the government is making only about 10%, which is nowhere compensating the total the cost of production the farmers are incurring. And as a result, many farmers are so much desperate when they begin in farming. These are the challenges that are operating. But what is required, the government should look at from holistically how much is the cost of production, how much a farmer should get in terms of the profit, so that his family and himself can be comfortable and he can happy to continue in the farm. This is the type of thinking that should come. Unfortunately, it is not being looked at from holistic aspect. It's only looked at from a very narrow set. Few days back, one of our farmers, very enlightened farmers, was asking question. Sir, about 6 months back, the Union Agriculture Ministry has said in some platform that we're going to bear the cost of the part of the cost of transportation. Because nowadays, transporting the farm produce from the production point to the market point is a big challenge. The cost is so much. And yesterday, what was happening is was managed through the bullock cart. And they never used to find the each of the transport other things. But nowadays, transporting through a truck, transporting through lorry and other things, so costly, they find it extremely difficult. So, when fixing the cost of production or fixing the MSP, another thing, they are looking from a holistic angle. Because unfortunately, it's not happening. Because we all knew that more than 50% of people in the country are still depend on agriculture. Indirectly, another 15-20%, the labor, service sector, and other things, they are also depends on agriculture. Such a biggest sector that we have in the country, but it is not being supported to the extent it should have been. Even the 3 laws, what they have drawn about 5-6 years back, the same government, and the day when I got the details, I just gone through from the whole day. I said it will not stand. It will not be possible for the government to implement signing. And even as Vishwanath was making mention, our former Prime Minister Devagowda, whenever he wants to go to the Parliament, he always discusses issues relating to the arrears and rates. And he asked me about the 3 formulas. And that day I told, sir, this is not find a place in the Indian situation because there are many theoretical frameworks that are being brought. One interesting thing is, although you may become IPS, this IAS officers, IPS, whatever your position, try to understand the grassroots situation also. Most of our IAS officers, they are good in looking at the national level, good in giving a very colorful language, other thing. But when it comes to the question of lower level of the problems or other things, they are not fully available, fully knowledgeable, other things. As a result, most of our plans do not work in the reality. The big example, what I'm given example here, way back in 2013, Sri Devagodaji called me one fine day that you have implemented a project in Gurblapur and everybody tells in the other part of the country. I am not aware of. I wanted to visit that particular project area. Can you make some arrangement? The project that we implemented in 2005 to 10 was a rural bioresource complex project in two project. And after 5 years, we could make a recording that the growth rate in agriculture was 11%. Even if you are what is the growth rate in the present context, agriculture growth rate, overall Indian agriculture growth rate, it revolves around 4 to 5%. But we demonstrated there more than 11% growth rate in agriculture. And this as one of the subcommittee chairman of the parliament, when he visited Gujarat, because at that time, 2012-13, Modi ji was the chief minister of Gujarat. He was claiming, and also it has been discussed in the parliament, that he could be able to increase the growth rate by 8 to 9%. And by virtue of that, that much of standing on the growth rate of agriculture, then he was the member of parliament of our Lok Sabha, Devagoda in 2012. So he went as a parliamentary delegation to visit in Gujarat, and we had seen so many activities for about 2-3 years. In the wrap-up meeting, when they were discussing, two of the vice chancellors who were sitting there in the wrap-up meeting, they said, "Sir, what Professor Narayakoda has done in UAS Bangalore is much better than what we are doing here. Why you did not visit your own state?" That's what they were told. He was really disturbed. What is it when it's happening in our own state? I am not aware of. And unfortunately, I am coming up here to see what's happening in the other state. And the next day when he came over to Bangalore, he called me. What is this? Your name is being told in Gujarat. I am not able to. I was not aware of this thing. Would like to visit the project next day. And he was kind of to visit for the next day, whole day. One greatest quality, sir, said Sri Devagoda, he listens very carefully. The whole day he hardly spoke anything. Morning he came at 10 o'clock and he was there up to 5 o'clock in between half an hour lunch. So rest of the time was visiting, interacting with the farmers, so many activities. Because we started with 10 farmers associates there. And besides various our own experiences were made. And after seeing at the end, he said, if I get an opportunity to become the Prime Minister, I'll see that the entire project replicated across the country. There was this statement he made. And afterwards, what has happened in the 13 end, this MLA election came, and 14 MP election came. Naturally, as politicians, they will have their own preoccupation. And but he has a great remembrance. On 5th of January 2015, he called me. Nodi sir, ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ನೀವೇನೋ ಮಾಡಿ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡಿ ನಾನು ಮೋದಿಜಿ ತಾನೇ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ and he's a person who has got great consulting for the farmers. So it can be implemented across the country. It will make a difference on that. So we requested. Then we prepared with our team that the project was implemented on 9 initiatives with 32 scientists of the university. The other 8 scientists, about 40 people, covering about 85 villages with 8,000 farm families. That was the background of that. So I took the report and gave it to him on 20th of January. On 30th of January 2015, he handed over that, and it was related in our Doordarshan other thing that what the report prepared by Professor Narayakoda team is being handed over to Modi ji for implementation. And Modi ji took almost 6 months with this chain of people around him and declared in 2016 doubling the income of the farmers. The doubling the income of the farmers came out from our funding, and they actually made all the best efforts. Unfortunately, it was being managed with the people with all AAS who do not have the grassroots level knowledge and the problems that are going to happen at the grassroots level. And the question was raised in 2022 Parliament. Modi ji had no answer to give because they could not rise to the expectation of the people in terms of reaching doubling the farmers. Anyway, this is only a story what I'm telling. Why I'm narrating it. Most of the people who occupy the position at their level, they are not fully knowledgeable of the grassroots level problems. Unless you know the grassroots level problems, the implementation of the programs will not be successful because ultimately they are the people who are supposed to carry forward, the farmers who are supposed to carry forward. And these farmers' problems should be known from a closer distance. If that is being fully knowledgeable, then they can take it up very confidently. Unfortunately, that did not happen, and they have to get a sorry because they could not double in from the farmers. So, like that, we need to know everything about the situation, not just superficial or an issue like pre-fund level. That is not going to solve the problem. Yes, sir. You have to be totally knowledgeable about everything, and you can really do some good things. Otherwise, we will not be successful in whatever there is small or big. That is the way you have to consider.
Yes, sir. Now, I have a small question.
Okay.
Since independence, we have seen the union governments as well as the state governments. They have done a lot of progress in terms of betterment of the agriculture or the farmers' life. In recent years, there is speculation that slowly the corporate world is entering and they are going to control the agriculture sector slowly. In case, is it going to happen? Will it happen? First thing. Second point is, if that happens, how the government can actually safeguard the interest or the lives of the farmers. And right now we can see some companies have already acquired huge thousands of acres of land for agricultural purpose. They will be using that particular land to establish their agriculture, their crops, cash crops and all. Now here the question comes, when something, especially something like agriculture, is controlled by certain people, very few people, it will definitely affect the poor farmers, so who have very small land holdings. So in a way, it might prevent the what we can say fragmentation of lands or farmers holding small lands, and those issues can be solved. But right now farmers are struggling with the agricultural produce. Even the price or MSP minimum support price or the transportation, storage, many different things. So one way people say that the entry of corporates will help the farmers, and what way it will help the farmers in case if there is a capitalist mindset working in this field in agriculture because of entry of the corporates, how the government is going to support the farmers. This is a speculation I heard. But to what extent
It's a big challenge what is being going on now, and also what is being delivered at different levels. In fact, when Chandrababu Naidu was the chief minister of Andhra Pradesh earlier in previous term, he made an attempt to introduce the Israeli model in one of the Kuppam district also, someplace where the entire thing will be taken over by the corporate sector. And even the farmers has to hand over the land to them. And they will be given normal wages and other things. And they have to be almost like a wage earner. And it will be maintained by the corporate sector. This type of deliberations have started, and a lot of resistance have come. And some of this could not take place. Right? Even these efforts have been pursued in different points of time. But still, it is a big question whether India can go with that arrangement. Because once the land is going to be given to the corporate sector, these people lose the ownership. And tomorrow they become almost like an employee there. And what will be the fate of these people is also a big question. So there are more plus and minus of these things are going on. But if you look at on the positive side, it is possible to have a best cropping pattern, the cropping pattern of international demand, other thing, and utilizing the resource effectively and attaining the maximum productivity, everything is possible. But at the end of the day, what is the fate of these farmers? Yes, once they surrender the land, once they have become workers there, first generation, next second generation, I don't know what is going to happen. Third generation, not only should take them. So there are many plus and minus about these things. It requires a thorough debate. But nothing wrong in encouraging farmers with all the support system, right? We give the strength. You know, unfortunately, the challenge in India is more than 90% on the small marginal holders. And even this landholding, they are fragmented like anything. A single 1 acre of land a farmer owns means it is being placed in 2 or 3 places. That's very unfortunate. So taking up any permanent development in the land is also a big challenge. And going for water resource management and other fencing arrangement, many of these things are really very difficult ones to speak in a platform because they are easily said but difficult to perform. Even to go for a fencing at that time, suppose a farmer, you know how much of problem they are going to be. There will be lot of between two people sharing, and they go to a court and they go to so many other problem. Meaning also there is happening. Even one inch land is being taken out by somebody, that becomes big issue. So these are all issues that social dynamics are there in the rule system. Rather difficult to find a permanent solution for these things. So one thing, nothing like supporting the farmer with a good price, number one. And see what the government of India is giving that 8,000 rupees we are putting to the farmers' account. If you look at the GST, they are charging 18% for most of the, almost all the inputs. You take menus, you take these machineries. Menu they are charging around 12 to 13% if I remember correctly. For machineries, nowadays machineries have become inevitable because labor availability is a big challenge. Everybody wants to own a small tractor, a small power tiller, a small sprayer, so many things. And you know the cost of that 18% GST. The farmer paying 1 lakh rupees means he's paying about 18,000 to the government. But he gets 8,000 rupees. That's a big money they say that we are giving to farmers. And this is happening across the country. The last 2 years, consistently, I'm making efforts through the Devabadani to see that all agricultural produce, whether inputs or output, they should be charged only 3% of GST. See, GST is required for running the system, I understand. For agriculture purpose, they should not charge so much of GST. And it has been discussed, rediscussed in the last 3-4 sessions of Parliament. Even today, they are not able to take a good decision. But very recently, when we have what is called an MOU with the UK, just about 3-4 days back, possibly reading the newspaper, that they want to cut down all the GST for the value-added products and all other agricultural outputs. That's what it is. But my concern is even for the input also, they should reduce the GST. Otherwise, the cost of production will grow so much, right? So anyway, agriculture is like a ocean. If we are going discussing the whole day, even months together, it will not be easy for us to provide a complete solution or a complete information. But we certainly discuss wherever our is relevant in the current context. We can, in fact, many of our students who did their PhD, MSc from IRA, they were asking when they wanted to go for preparation of UPSC, sir, what is the way of solving this problem of Punjab and Haryana farmers? Punjab and Haryana farmers is a big challenge. You know what is happening in 2 ways. One is changing the cropping pattern of both this paddy followed by wheat. Both are high water consuming crops. And the soil will also become so much what is called not ideal for cultivation in long range. So many things are there. How to change the cropping pattern? What is the way? Even I said there are more high value crops than wheat. That is one paddy followed by wheat, or one food crop followed by vegetable followed by wheat crop would be better. And of course, rice is being grown across the country. There is no need for growing rice there. Better they can go for some high value vegetable crops. And as far as the wheat is concerned, congenial climate is there. They can go for wheat, no problem, as a second crop. But changing the copy pattern also is not that easy. Secondly, even that the pollution that is being created every year, even that also we have given a solution. Because once you incorporate and go back to the soil with enough of biofertilizer, it can decompose within a span of 20-25 days, and it can easily go for the second crop without difficulty. There are solutions, but unfortunately not being implemented to the satisfaction of everybody. So for every problem there is a solution. There is no dearth for solutions. But how to take forward, how to implement, what is your support system? These are very, very big challenges, and these challenges are also not unsolvable. They are really solvable. Anyway, thank you. Sorry to make
No, not to that. It's all our privilege, sir, to have you with us. Sir, in fact, thank you very much for your very vast experience sharing. And also you have given a lot of very fine clues how to crack the exams. I think it's all what all things that you shared. It's helping a lot our students. I take this opportunity, and this is not the final, sir. I'll very oftenly, as and when your service and your expertise is required, definitely I'll want to make use of your expertise. And I take this opportunity on behalf of all for this thing, academy and personal. Thank you very much for your valuable sharing. Thank you very much.
So, nice of you. All the best wishes to you. The ball is in our court. You did not worry. It's only your efforts, your hard work. Nothing can stop. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, thank
Can
you.
we have a group photo, sir?
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Please come.
Yeah.
Please come in, sir.
No.
Solo Pateji is from UP.
It's a very good
I am from Andhra.
Please come.
Oh, very good. Okay. So we have one more Panditi who is our secured first rank in our IPS, who is working in right now in Kanpur. Because last April I was traveling in Varanasi at our important Sangam technique, then Ayodhya and those things. He was coordinating our programs there. Panditi, his name.
So just a suggestion, whenever sir comes, like anyone who has been in the board members, like sir has taken interview in the board members and etc., you try to ask questions regarding how the interviews are being conducted, because sir has a vast knowledge. He was a part of the board members, so he can explain that what qualities we are looking when you are going for the interview. You don't know, okay, on what qualities the interviewer is going to judge you. Clear? So if I'm conducting interview, you are giving replies to my answers, but you don't know on what qualities I'm judging you. Clear? So sir can better guide you on that aspect. Okay, that yeah, no, that's what I'm giving you suggestion. In future, whenever okay you get a chance to interact with such people, you try to okay ask sir what is the qualities on which okay which we need to inculcate in our personalities, okay, which your UPSC board members are looking for, and how the interview process is conducted. What if we are nervous, how to counter that, because when you are going for interview you get nervous, how to counter that. So all those process, okay, the process of interview sir will be better able to guide you. Fine. And it is not only for UPSC, it is for other examination also. When you are trying for other examination also, if you are giving interview, the process will guide you, okay, in other interview also. So what are the qualities that we need to inculcate as an IAS officer or as an IPS officer? On what qualities you are judging? What type of questions can be asked? Okay, so those things sir will be better able to guide you, because he has a vast experience on those areas. So next time whenever okay you get chance to interact, because sir will be associated, so when next time whenever you get a chance to interact, then you ask such type of questions, okay, so that okay you get also knowledge that benefit you, because sir has a good agriculture knowledge, but that may not okay benefit you right now, because you have not studied right now that much about agriculture. Fine. But these knowledge will help you in okay processing how things will progress and how you have to proceed with your preparations and etc. Fine.
This is such a hard and important question, so you could have asked me.
No, see, I could have asked, but my thing is different asking. Your thing is different asking. Sir was asking regarding any aspirant to the question. So he'll come. Okay, within 10 days, 12 days, 15 days. Since he's associated, he'll come once in a okay days. Next time, whenever he's coming, you just ask him. Okay, so this will get you a lot of inputs that on which area you need to look after, which area you need to focus on. Those things you can get. Fine. So we were discussing about what? We were discussing about the plateaus, and we covered the Tibetan plateau. We discussed Tibetan plateau is called as a roof of the world, and it is created due to tectonic movements. Second plateau we discussed was Columbia Snake Plateau. We discussed why it is known as a Columbia Snake, because of two rivers that is flowing, that is Columbia River and Snake River. Because of that, it is okay called as a Columbia Snake Plateau. Fine. Next, what is happening is we discuss Colorado Plateau. Next, we have written something regarding Colorado. Yeah, it lies on the western part of USA, right? Next, another point you can add. It is known for the artesian. It is known for the artesian wells. Artesian wells. It is known for artesian wells. Artesian wells. Wells. And canyons. And canyons are found. And canyons are found. Canyons are found in these plateaus. In these plateaus. Fine. So Colorado Plateau is known for canyons. Remember canyon? We discussed gorges and canyon. What was canyon? What was canyon? What was gorges? Gorges is with vegetation. So we discussed narrow valley with vegetation and canyon without vegetation. So Colorado Plateau is which type of plateau? More of a desert. More desert you are finding on okay Colorado Plateau. It's more of a desert you are finding on this plateau. Clear? So that's why you'll see more of what? More of canyon, and it is referred as a Grand Canyon. It is referred as a Grand Canyon. And the second thing that you find here is artesian well. It is known for artesian wells. What is artesian wells? So as we discussed, this is Earth's surface, and these are where underground waters are there. How do you pull out underground water? Through motors. So how you'll pull out underground water? Through motors and etc. That is there. So in your homes and etc. groundwater, how you extract? You switch on the motor and it extract the groundwater. But what if this groundwater comes directly onto the surface? What if groundwater comes directly onto the surface? There is no motor, there is no force that you are putting to extract the groundwater. So when the groundwater comes directly onto the surface due to a positive pressure, then such things is referred as what? Then such thing is referred as a artesian wells. Clear? What is artesian wells? When groundwater starts to come onto the surface because of positive pressure from the earth, then such type of things are referred as what? Such type of things are referred as artesian wells. Fine. So this Colorado Plateau is also known for what? It is also known for artesian wells. Clear? UPSC may ask question which part of which plateau is famous for artesian wells. So remember that it is a Colorado Plateau. Fine. Next you write down. Deccan Plateau. Heading you write down Deccan Plateau. Deccan Plateau. It is found in India. And bordered by Western and Eastern Ghat. Bordered by Western and Eastern Ghat. It is the largest volcanic. Features on the earth. Largest volcanic features on the earth. Largest volcanic features on the earth, and is known for rich minerals. Known for rich minerals. Clear? Next important plateau that you find is Kimberley Plateau. Kimberley, Kimberley. Kimberley Plateau. So you'll find this part of Australia, and this upper part of Australia, you'll find which plateau is here? Kimberley Plateau is here. Okay, so this upper part, this is a deserted part. This upper part, you'll find which plateau? Kimberley Plateau. So write down. It is lying in Australia. And many minerals like iron, gold, diamonds, zinc are found over here. Zinc. In fact, Kimberley Plateau is most famous for diamond. Fine. Now another important plateau that you find is Katanga Plateau. So where you are finding this Katanga Plateau? In Congo region. So this region you are finding Democratic Republic of Congo. This region you are finding which plateau? Katanga Plateau. Clear? So Katanga Plateau lies where? In African regions. We discussed this is a Democratic Republic of Congo. We discussed which which lake is this one? Which lake is shared between Congo and Tanzania? No, not Victoria. Which lake is shared between Congo and Tanzania? Congo and Tanzania, we discussed which lake? Lake Tanganyika. Yes, we discussed longest lake. So you can see this is the longest lake, Tanganyika, which is shared between whom? Congo and Tanzania. So Katanga is lying over here. This region, Katanga Plateau. You can see here it is written as this particular part. So this is where you'll find Katanga Plateau. Fine. It is very famous for what? Very famous for copper. Katanga Plateau is very famous for copper. Write down. It is lying in Congo. It is lying in Congo. Famous for copper production. Famous for copper production. Famous for copper production. Other minerals like zinc, tin, gold, uranium are also found over here. Uranium are also found over here. Are also found over here. Are also found over here. Next important is Mascarene Plateau. Another plateau you write down, Mascarene Plateau. Mascarene Plateau. Now this plateau you'll find where? So here you are finding which plateau? It is written as a Mascarene Plateau. So what plateau it is written? Mascarene Plateau. So this plateau is lying where? In the Indian Ocean region. This is which region? This is Indian Ocean region. You can see Reunion Island, Mauritius. You can see here these all Mascarene Plateau lying in case of Indian Ocean region. Fine. So write down regarding Mascarene Plateau. It lies in Indian Ocean. Indian Ocean and extend between Mauritius and Sicily Island. Extend between Mauritius and Sicily Island. Mauritius and Sicily Island. Clear? Next important plateau is Mexican Plateau. Mexican Plateau. Mexican Plateau. Also referred as mineral store of the world. Also referred as mineral store of the world.
Stores.
Yes, STORE, mineral store of the world. Famous for silver and copper production. Famous for silver and copper production. Famous for silver and copper production. Fine. Next you write down Patagonian Plateau. Patagonian Plateau. PATAGONIAN. Patagonian Plateau. Patagonian Plateau. Patagonian Plateau. Right on. It is found in Argentina. It is found in Argentina and is known for sheep rearing. It is known for sheep. SHEEP, sheep rearing. Sheep rearing. Next you write down regarding it is Altiplano. Altiplano or Bolivian Plateau. It is also known as Bolivian Plateau. Altiplano or Bolivian Plateau. So we discussed which lake lies over here, Bolivia, Peru. Which lake lies over Bolivia and Peru? Lake Titicaca. Lake Titicaca. So we discussed Lake Titicaca lies on Bolivia and Peru. So here lies a Bolivian plateau, right up. It is a intermontane plateau. Intermontane plateau. Intermontane plateau famous for tin reserve. Famous for tin reserve. Tin reserve. Next we write down Massif Central. Massif Central. MASSIF. Massif Central. Massif Central. Lies in France. Lies in France. Famous for grape cultivations. Lies in France. Famous for grape cultivation. Famous for grape cultivation. Fine. Next you write on Laurentia Plateau. Grape, GRAP, grape. Grape cultivation. Fine. In fact, some of the best quality of wines and etc. are made over here because of grape cultivations. Fine. You'll see Laurentia Plateau. LAURENTI. Laurentia Plateau. Fine. Lies in Canada. Lies in Canada and known for iron ore. And known for iron ore. Known for iron ore. Fine. So these are some of the important plateaus that you have to keep in mind. Fine. Apart from this, sometimes you also might get a question regarding Iberian Plateau. Iberian Plateau is lying where it is in news because of certain civil war. So that's why you may get a question on Iberian Plateau. It lies in case of Spain, Spanish Plateau that you find. So this part is referred as a Portugal, this part is referred as what? Spain, and this part is France. So Iberian Plateau lies in this region. This is in Spain. Clear? So Iberian Plateau lies in Spain. So just mention that Iberian Plateau lies in Spain. That you keep in mind. And another we have already discussed, Lois Plateau. Lois Plateau lies where? Lois Plateau. We have discussed importance of what? Importance of plateau. There we have discussed agriculture. What are the examples we have written for agriculture? What are the examples we have written for agriculture? Importance of plateau. What are the examples we have written for agriculture? One is Deccan Plateau, known for what? Black soil. And another is Loess Plateau of China, which is known for what? Which is known for good soils, which is known for good fertile soil. So Loess Plateau lies where? It lies in case of China. Fine. Fine. So let's say you may get a question like this. Which pair is correctly matched? Last one is correct. Yes. Massif Central lies in France. So first is wrong. Katanga Plateau lies in Congo region. Kimberley lies in Australia. Clear? So Kimberley lies in Australia. Katanga lies in Congo. And Laurentia Plateau. The third is what? Laurentia Plateau. So that lies where? that lies in case of Canada. So that third pair is correctly matched. So like this question can be formed, map based question, that how, where they are located. Clear? So lakes and plateaus. You just keep in mind what are the important lakes of the world and what are the important plateaus of the world. These are the map based questions. Fine.
Is there anything famous in Iberian Plateaus?
Iberian Plateau, not as such famous for minerals. Normal qualities of minerals you are going to get in the Iberian Plateau. Fine. So these are important points you have to keep in mind. So this finishes. Which one? Because one of the Spain region, okay, that is Spain region, Catalonian region, is trying to move out of Spain. They are trying to no longer become a part of Spain. So Barcelona, you have heard about Barcelona. Barcelona is a football club. So that Barcelona region is okay, where which is trying to come out of the Spain, that is okay there. So that's why it was in use. Fine. So now this finishes your what? This finishes your geomorphology, and now we are shifting towards second part, which is climatology. Fine. So what is in the geomorphology? We started with what? We started with how the Earth was created, how the solar system was created, hypothesis. Then we discussed interior of Earth, sources to study interior of Earth. Then we covered what? Rocks, different type of rocks. Then we discussed geomorphic movement, that is exogenic forces and endogenic forces. In endogenic forces, we covered folding, faulting, different type of mountains that are created due to folding, faulting. Then we discussed volcanism, we discussed earthquake. Then finally, we saw the exogenic forces, that is weathering and erosion. What are the landforms that are created by agent of erosion, like river related landforms, wind related landforms. We covered also the glacier related landforms. So those landforms we have covered. Then we shifted towards theories. What are the theories? Convectional current theories, continental drift theory, paleomagnetism, seafloor and plate tectonics, and finally lakes and plateaus. So this part we have covered in case of geomorphology. Now we'll start with climatology. The first topic in climatology that we are taking up is atmosphere. Atmosphere. Fine. So basically what you have to keep in mind is there are two things. There are two things that you have to keep in mind. One is weather and another is climate. Already we have discussed once. What is the difference between weather and climate?
Keeps changing.
Weather is keep changing, climate.
Which has a particular period of time.
Yeah. The weather is day-to-day changes. What are the day-to-day changes? Day-to-day changes in temperature, pressure, humidity, temperature, pressure, humidity, and other aspect. When you monitor the day-to-day changes in such particular thing, that is going to be called as what? That is going to be called as a weather. And what is a climate? It is average of weather over a period of time. Average of weather over a period of time. Average of weather over a period of time. So this you find with regard to climate. So what is weather? Weather is day-to-day changes, that is temperature, pressure, humidity. That thing you find with regard to weather. And what is climate? Average of weather over a period of time, that you find with regard to climate. Fine. So what is the term atmosphere means? What is the term atmosphere means? How do you say, how do you define the term atmosphere? In simple term, it is envelope of air surrounding the earth. Surrounding the earth. Envelope of air that is surrounding the earth's surface is called as what? Is called as an atmosphere. It is an envelope of air surrounding the earth's surface is referred as what? Is referred as atmosphere. That is how you define the term atmosphere. Fine. How the atmosphere was formed? How the atmosphere was formed? How these gases were formed? Because we are saying it is an envelope of gases that is surrounding the earth. How this atmosphere was formed? What are the what are the scenario we discussed with regard to Earth evolution? Hydrogen and helium, nebular hypothesis, that is solar system. With regard to Earth, what we have discussed? Iron catastrophe. Then second was what? Planetary differentiation. Planetary differentiation means the heavier metal like nickel and iron come towards center, and the lighter material went away. Planetary differentiation. Third was what? Outgassing. So what you see is, okay, when Earth is, okay, what? When Earth is solidifying, mantle is solidifying, gases are being released. So what gases? That gases have surround where? That gases have surround the Earth's surface. Okay, so when mantle was solidifying, you see outgassing has happened, gases has been released, and this gases has surround what? This gases has surround the Earth's surface, and this is what we call as a atmosphere. Clear? So atmosphere is formed due to formation of Earth. When Earth was formed, outgassing has happened. This outgassing has led to release of gases in the atmosphere, and which has led to release of gases in the atmosphere. You saw creation of what? Creation of atmosphere. Fine. Any doubt regarding this part? Now, another important aspect that you have to keep in mind is atmosphere. Atmosphere, you have to study in terms of composition and structure. So you have to study the atmosphere in terms of composition, and you have to study the atmosphere in terms of structure. Fine. So why these gases has not left the Earth? When outgassing has happened, why it has not left the Earth? When outgassing has happened, why this has not left the Earth? We discussed gravitational pull. Earth has what? Earth has a gravity because Earth is attracting these gases. So these gases has not left what? These gases has not left the Earth. Clear? They are surrounding the Earth. Remember, we talked about that this is Sun, Mercury, then we discussed Venus, then we discussed Earth. We discussed Mercury do not have any atmosphere. Why? Because Sun gravity is so strong that it is pulling all the atmosphere, all the gases that is okay there. Clear? But Earth is distant from the Sun, has gravity, and as a result, Earth is able to attract what? Earth is able to attract these gases. And that's why envelope of air that is surrounding the Earth is going to be called as what? Is going to be called as an atmosphere. So atmosphere you have to study in terms of composition and structure. What is structure? Structure is how atmosphere is extending. Suppose this is the Earth's surface. So from the Earth's surface, as you are going up, how the atmosphere is something that is okay there. That is called as a structure. What are the different layers you have? What are the different layers you are finding in the atmosphere? That is called as a structure. Clear? So what are the different layers you have? Troposphere. The lowest layer is called as what? Troposphere. Then after that, what is there? Stratosphere. Then after that, what is there? Mesosphere. Next is called as a ionosphere. And finally, you have what? Exosphere. So these are what? These are the different layers. These are the structures of what? These are the structures of atmosphere. What are the different layers consisting the atmosphere? This is called as a structure. So troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, ionosphere, exosphere. These are different layers of the atmosphere. Clear? And it is composed of what? It is composed of two elements. One is called as a gases and another is called as a aerosol. Gases further can be major gases or minor gases, or we also call it as a trace gas. So atmosphere is composed of what? Composed of gases as well as aerosol. Gases could be major gases as well as trace gases. Clear? What are the major gases? Your nitrogen and oxygen. These are the major gases. So 78% of your atmosphere is consisting of nitrogen, and around 21% is consisting of what? 21% is consisting of oxygen. So almost 99% of your atmosphere is consisting of what? Consisting of nothing but okay, nitrogen as well as oxygen. Clear? Clear? Now, trace gases, what are the gases that you find in small amount that are called as a trace gases? For example, carbon dioxide can be there, water vapor can be there, argon can be there, hydrogen can be there, helium can be there. So all these are present in a very small amount. All these gases are present in a very small amount. So that's why they are referred as trace gases. Okay, even ozone. Ozone is also present. Stratosphere consists of ozone. So ozone is also present in case of your atmosphere. So O3, ozone you can also write. So these are referred as a trace gases present in minute amount in case of your atmosphere. Fine. So atmosphere consists of two parts. One is composition and another is structure. So you have to study the composition part and you also have to study the structure part. Fine. Now, as we move from Earth's surface, to the earth, you'll find atmosphere become less denser. It becomes less denser. It becomes less denser. As you are moving up, atmosphere is becoming what? Atmosphere is becoming less denser. So we say atmosphere is densest at sea level. It is densest at sea level. And as you go up, it's gonna decline. As you go up, it's gonna decline. It is densest at sea level, but as you go up, it's gonna decline. This is called as what? This is called as a this is called as what? This is called as the atmosphere composition and structures. Fine. Why atmosphere is more denser at sea level, and as you go up, why density declines? Gravitation. Yes. Okay. So we discuss gravity attract more gases where? More gases towards it. As you go up, what will happen? Gravitational forces becomes weak. Gases becomes decline. So density declines as we move up. Fine. Now, first we'll discuss the composition part and then we'll come to structure part. Even sometimes you might get also in some book, trace gases can further be divided. Trace gases can be further be divided, stable and variable. So sometimes you see trace gases division can be also written in some, which is stable and variable. Fine. So stable means what? Stable means what? That yes, okay, its composition is what we say amount of these or quantity of these gases are stable over a period of time. They are not changing. Quantity of these gases, amount of these gases are stable. They are not changing. Variable means what? They are going to change. For example, water vapor. Water vapor is which type of gas? Variable. Where you will see more water vapor? Wherever desert region is going to be there, you're going to find what? Less water vapor over there. Wherever what? Oceans are there, wherever rivers are there, lakes are there, you are going to find what? More water vapor. So water vapor is a variable gas. Its quantity keeps on changing, amount keeps on changing. So some gases are stable one, which quantity and amount do not change, but some gases are what? Some gases are nothing but okay, variable one. So that classification can also be given in some book, but not really required for you to understand what is stable and unstable. Fine. Any doubt regarding this particular part? So the first will come to this particular part, that is structure part. Then we'll discuss the composition part for. So structure, we discuss first layer is which layer? First layer is which layer? Troposphere. First layer is which layer? Troposphere. Fine. Fine. Troposphere. Now, as you troposphere extend from, if you see troposphere extension, this is what? Pole region, and this is equator region. So at equator, generally you see extension of troposphere up to 18 kilometer. At poles, generally you are going to see around 8 kilometer of extension. So this is how you see variation in height of troposphere. At the equator, you'll see troposphere is extending up to 18 kilometer, and at the poles it is extending up to how much? 8 kilometer. Fine. Now why this is happening? Why this variability in extension you are finding? Because equator receives more sunlight while the poles receives what? Less sunlight. So when poles receive less sunlight, what will happen to Earth's surface? It will get less heated. When it will get less heated, when the surface gets less heated, what will happen? The air will also what? Air will also get less heated. Means air will remain cool over here. At the pole region, what is happening? Sunlight is less. Since sunlight is less, what will happen to Earth's surface? What will happen to Earth's surface? It becomes cold. When it becomes cold, what will happen to air? It will also becomes cold. You know that cold thing do not expand. Clear? We discuss anything hot is going to what? Expand. Anything cold is not going to expand. So that's why air here is not expanding. When air here is not expanding, the extension is how much? 8 kilometer over here. Fine. What happens to here? We discuss more sunlight. When more sunlight are there, then what will happen? More heating of Earth's surface. When more heating of Earth's surface, air in contact will also get heated. When it get heated, what will happen? Air will expand, and that's why you'll see more extension in the pole equatorial region. Fine. So that's why troposphere extension is more over what? Troposphere extension is more over equator and less over polar region. Fine. Now, second thing that you see is almost all your weather phenomena. Almost all weather phenomena. What are the weather phenomena? Cyclones, wind, rainfall, most of condensation, cloud formation, dew, frost, snow, smog. All these weather phenomena takes place where? In the troposphere. Almost all your weather phenomena is going to take place where? In the troposphere. Fine. The third thing. So first thing we talked about extension of troposphere. The second thing we discussed is almost all phenomena is going to take place in a troposphere. The third thing, as you go up in troposphere means with increase in height, what will happen to temperature? Temperature will decline. With increase in height, what will happen to temperature? Temperature will decline. So as you go up in troposphere, what will happen? Temperature will decline. Fine. Why temperature declines? Moving. What about pole region? Why temperature declines? As you go up in troposphere, we are talking about temperature is declining. Why temperature is declining? What is source of heat for air? Air is heated when Earth is heated more. When Earth is heated more, then what will happen? Air is getting heated. So what is the source for heating? Source of heating is Earth's surface. Source of heating is what? Earth's surface. When sunlight heats the Earth, what will happen? When Earth gets heated, then air in contact with the Earth also get heated. Fine. So as you are closer to the Earth, then you get more heat, or away from the Earth, then you get more heat. Closer to Earth, then you will receive more heat. As you are moving away, what will happen? Less heat. So this is similar concept. We discuss room heater. Closer to room heater, what will happen? You'll receive more heat. Farther away you'll move, you'll receive less heat. Okay, that is okay. So what is the source of heat? Source of heat is Earth. Earth is heating, Earth is radiating the heat, and because of Earth radiation, what will happen? Air in contact with the Earth will get heated. Clear? So air will the air which is closer to the Earth, will get heated more. As you move away, you are moving away from the heat source, and as a result your temperature will be lesser. So as you go up, temperature declines in case of what? Temperature declines in a troposphere. Fine. Another important thing, we discuss all your phenomena is taking place where? In the troposphere. All these phenomena is taking place in troposphere. So because of this, troposphere is a zone of what? It is a zone of turbulence. It is a zone of turbulence. Lot of turbulence happens, convection happens, movement happens in this layer. Clear? Because all this phenomena is happening. Cyclone is happening, wind is moving, you will see cloud is forming, rainfall is happening. So that's why this is a zone of turbulence. Convection is always happening in this particular zone. Clear? So that's why you'll see often the airplane or jet, they move in stratosphere. They do not move in troposphere. So after takeoff and landing, only they comes into troposphere. Much of their movement is in which layer? In the stratosphere, because stratosphere is devoid of this turbulence. So zone of turbulence is not there. That's why it is more safer for what? Safer for movement of jet and airplane. That is okay there. Clear? Fine. So another thing that you have to remember is it is a zone of what? Zone of turbulence. Lot of convectional activity is going to take place in this particular layer. Fine. So troposphere is what? Troposphere is extension is more at what? More at equator than at poles. Second thing, it almost all your weather phenomena is taking place in this particular region. The third thing, as you go up in troposphere, what will happen? Temperature will decline. Fourth thing, it is a zone of turbulence, and that's why all all your jet airplane do not moves in this particular layer. They moves in what? They moves in troposphere. Fine. Now, most of your heavier gases are what? As we discussed, if your gases are heavier, then what will happen? They have more mass. More mass means what? More weight. Weight is what? Weight is what? Mass into gravity. Weight is what? Mass into gravity. So if gases are having more mass, then what will happen? They'll be attracted more by who? They'll be attracted more by the earth. Clear? So almost all your heavier gases are going to be where? Almost all your heavier gases are going to be near to the surface. Okay, they are in troposphere. Almost all your heavier gases are where? In the troposphere. Why? Because you know that Earth will attract what? Earth will attract these particular gases. Gravitational pull, more weight means Earth will attract these gases. So almost all your heavier gases are going to be there in troposphere. Fine. So that's why troposphere accounts for much of the mass of atmosphere, because all heavier gases are where? In the troposphere. That's why much of the molecular mass of atmosphere is coming from where? Coming from tropospheric region. Fine. So this important aspect you have to keep in mind, that most of the heavier gases lies in this region. As you go up, less heavier gases you are finding. That's why we are saying density is declining. As you are moving up, density is declining, because more heavier gases are attracted towards what? Towards nothing but Earth, and all your heavier gases are something that are present in what? Present in this particular layer. Fine. Any doubt regarding this particular thing? So these information you have to keep in mind with regard to what? With regard to troposphere. Fine. So first important thing, why its extension is more at equator and less at poles? Why its extension is more at equator and less at poles? Because at the equator receives more sunlight, so air gets heated more. When air gets heated more, what will happen? It will expand. So as a result, you'll see more height of troposphere. And what happens at the pole? Earth receives lesser light, lesser sunlight. Earth becomes cold, so air also becomes what? Cold, and cold layer do not expand. As a result, what will happen? You'll see less height. Clear? Why temperature declines as you move up? Yeah, as you are moving away from the earth, because source of heat is earth. As you are moving away, what will happen? Temperature will decline. Third thing, almost all weather phenomena is going to take place in what? Troposphere. It is a zone of what? Turbulence. All your heavier gases are going to be there where? In the troposphere. As you move up, lighter gases are going to be there. Finally, we discussed that density will be maximum where? At the Earth's surface, that is near troposphere. As you move up, density of gases will decline. Clear? So these are the points you have to keep in mind with regard to what? These are points you have to keep in mind with regard to troposphere. Fine. Any doubt regarding this particular thing? So we'll stop today at this point. Rest of focus, stratosphere, mesosphere, we'll take up in the next class. Fine. Anybody having any doubt? So please revise everything with regard to geomorphology. If you're finding any doubt, let me know for that. Thank you. Thank you.
What about the notes?
Weekly notes I'll provide. Huh?
Previous-
You have not received previous one. You have not received for last week. Okay, I'll just check, ma'am. It is there with the ma'am. I'll just check. She might have forwarded. Okay, forgot to forward. I'll just check it.
Very important. Tomorrow is the high